Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on the New American Media today. We are theoretically streaming on Rumble. Yes, it appears to be happening. We will get to Facebook in just a second. Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America. That's where we're going to leave it for now. No more zooming in allowable. My name's Brian Engelman. Today is Friday, May 9th, 2025. And this is the TNAM AM Show here on the New American Media because the old American media failed you. Yes. We are here, and we are going to be discussing all the things in the news, a million stories to get to today. So we're going to kind of fly through it. There's a lot to unpack. There are voter fraud indictments happening. They're rolling in. Remember that thing that they told you didn't happen ever? Well, I mean, they said it happened, just as long as you didn't say it happened in 2020 for some reason, with drop boxes and machines with all sorts of sketchy things and the inability to run full forensic audits. Oh, no. That information's proprietary. We can't allow you to look at that. Huh? Well, then how about we never use these things anymore? It's not a knock against any particular company. That's a knock against paper ballots that you can just count and call it a day. You shrink wrap it, seal it, put it in the gymnasium closet for 4 years or 72 months or however many, whatever time frame is required per law. Drop boxes, mail in, all that money that Zuckerberg spent, the Zuckerbucks, to put unsecured drop boxes in all the big blue cities and the big blue fraud states. I'm sorry, I said fraud. I meant swing. Because as you know, for countervailing views on health and elections, go to cdc.gov, who.int, and cisa.gov/rumor control. I am telling you this under duress. YouTube does this to me. Google does this to me. They threaten me. They smack your hand and say you're not allowed to monetize your content, so you can't earn a living covering the news. Now, all of our liars, the ones that we choose, they can earn a living telling you the news. They can lie about Trump. They can lie about Russian collusion. They can lie about Fauci. They can lie about COVID. They can lie about the jab. They can lie about all sorts of things. They're totally fine lying to you, but I'm not allowed to discuss the things and try to unpack them with you. That's the system we find ourselves in. I am not a fan, but that's because Google hates you. YouTube hates you. That's because Meta hates you. They don't like you. And that's why I encourage you to follow us at the places at the bottom of the screen. Instagram, Facebook, Truth Social, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, Kick, DLive, and YouTube. We are the New American Media. We're on Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM Chat. And our podcast is the Agree to Disagree Show. That is, on Spotify and iTunes as a podcast. Also, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, mind you. Okay, hold on. How do I get this design thing off the screen here? There we go. Let's take that off. Perfect. Speaking of sports, I think I'll give you the very quick overview of the playoffs. We got hockey and basketball. We will show you what's going on. By the way, hit like, hit subscribe, however you are watching. Yes, checking to make sure we are streaming in all of the locations here. But if anybody would like to link up with the New American Media and say, you know what? I like the New American Media. I like that Brian fella. I would like to support him in his journey. Well, luckily for you, it doesn't seem to be sharing on Facebook. What happened? I'm glad I checked, but where is it? What? Yeah, it is not sharing on Facebook. So let's save it to include Facebook. Let me refresh it. That's weird. Is it sharing on Facebook? Okay, it says sending data. All right, now it says streaming. Let's try it again. Hit the refresh. All right, we got an issue. Now it's live. Perfect. I'm telling you, every day it's something different. Every day it's something different with these clowns at Meta. But I'm going to share it to the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. TNAM's the Agree to Disagree show. I'm going to share it to TNAM Fake News, debunking conspiracy theories and propaganda. TNAM Preparedness. And I'm going to say, join our daily show. Join our live daily show right now! Exclamation mark. Kablamo. All right, cool. Let's jump in to the stories. Actually, where did that go? Oh, here's ESPN. There we go. Giving you the super quick update on the playoffs. I shared it. Where's the screen? What's happening? This is a weird day. My controls are not doing what it appears I am trying to do. Okay. Yes, and please leave your comments. David is here. Welcome, David. I really do consider myself to be a bartender. I show up early. I fill up the ice bin. I cut the lemons and limes. I take the stools off of the bar, set them down, turn the TVs on, wipe the bar down, give everything a quick once over, and we open up our doors for business. And now the regulars start showing up. David is here. We will have other regulars showing up. But please hit like, hit subscribe, and drop your comments into the comment section. However you're watching, we do try to incorporate what's going on. Huxley knew. Aldous Huxley. What did Huxley knew? Getting some comments over here in Rumble. By the way, you can do a, what is that called? It's a rant. It's called a rant in Rumble. You like throw a tip in the tip jar. Leave a tip on the bar for me. I'm a bartender. That is kind of how I work. His name is Huxley New. I'm assuming it's a he, but maybe it's not. Huxley. What did Huxley know? Aldous Huxley. What did Huxley knew? And he's here for the Epstein news. Good, because we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about voter fraud indictments. I mean, they're happening in multiple states right now. Finally, with some adults in charge that aren't completely corrupted, bribed, blackmailed, threatened. We're actually starting to see what we've known to be true this whole time. Wow. There's actually an organized voter fraud ring. It's in the news. Now, you wouldn't deny the news, would you? And push your baseless conspiracy theories that nobody tries to steal elections? Interesting how that sounds, reversing what we've been lied to about for so long, huh? We're going to talk about it. Aldous Huxley knew too much. And you're a she. Okay, cool. Not that I care about pronouns. All right, I'm liking it. Well, welcome to the show. What we do with everybody is we ask, where are you watching from? David is here. Let me put David on the overlay. All right, so we'll put our comments over here. For some reason, the Rumble comments do not show up on the side. They show up on this screen. So yeah, anyway, David's here from Ontario, wondering where Huxley New is watching from. It's just a way that I try to help make regulars out of first timers. But I do like that you don't care about pronouns. That's hilarious. Can I laugh at that comment? I can't react to it, but that's funny. But yes, if anyone wants to leave us a tip, this is all at the bottom here, and we'll jump into the news and get rolling. New Zealand, awesome. New Zealand's a good place. I need to go visit. Our donation links are at the bottom. We're on Patreon at The New American Media. Thank you to all 5 people that are subscribed to us. You can do $5 a month, 15 a month, 100, 1,000, 10,000, whatever is comfortable for you. It's all appreciated. But thank you to our regular contributors. We're also on Venmo at Brian Engelman, Cash App Brian Engelman, and PayPal at Fuzz Installments. So let's jump into the stories. I'm just going to take a moment here to get you updated on what's going on in the playoffs. In the NHL, Toronto is up over Florida 2-0. The series is tied, Capitals and Hurricanes. Game 3 coming up. Edmonton leads the Vegas Golden Knights 2-0. And the Dallas Stars lead the Winnipeg Jets. I think it's Winnipeg Jets. That's how much I know. I don't pay a ton of attention to hockey. Being a Cleveland sports fan, we didn't have a professional team, so I didn't really care all that much. But there's your update there in hockey. Hockey is fun to watch live, though. It is a lot of fun. Today, May 9th, the Cleveland Cavaliers are just in a world of hurt, trailing 2-0, or trailing 0-2 to the Indiana Pacers. They took both games in Cleveland. Brutal Game 2 loss at the last second on a three-pointer, losing by 1. It was awful, blowing a massive lead with just a couple minutes left. Cleveland, the number 1 seed in the East, looks to bounce back and steal a game in Indiana tonight at 7:30. Here's another one. The number 2 seed Boston Celtics are down 0-2 to the number 3 seed Knicks. Tomorrow they have Game 3. Timberwolves Warriors tied at 1. They play tomorrow. And the Thunder and Nuggets tied at 1. They play tonight. All right. So that's all I had to do with the sports front. I do the show called, here, let me put the graphic up on the screen. I do a show called The Unhappy Hour Sports Show, where we break down all the things in sports, but we're not going to spend too much time on that today. We're getting into Epstein news and voter fraud news and all sorts of things. I also do a show called Strictly Football. That's with myself and Mike Barra, and usually Jim Mitchell. I think we intended to have a post-draft show once the whole draft came through. We didn't have it. It's okay. We're sorting through some stuff. The rookies are all showing up. It's a very exciting time to be a sports fan, but not today. All right, we're going to go through our Instagram feed here for all of the stuff. We're going to start off with something funny. Look, sometimes the best things we have to laugh. We could either laugh or cry. And this video cracked me up because how many people do you know that are just like this? Check this out. Let's go ahead and click on it. There we go.
What's going on in this country?
Let me hit refresh. There we go. It mutes it. I unmuted it. He goes, "Are you tired of what's going on in this country?"
What's going on in this country? That makes 2 of us. Tired of what exactly? I don't know. But when I hear words like inflation, tariffs, and I see people getting ticked off, I join in and I get fired up with them.
Yeah.
Because it's fun to be mad about stuff.
Isn't it?
So if you're mad about something, hit me up and I'll join you and we'll fight that thing together for as long as it takes, or until we get bored of it and then we move on to something else and we can freaking get real mad about that other thing.
Everything's fine.
Are you tired of what's going on in this country?
The guy's name's Nolan Culver, and it cracked me up. Are you tired of what's going on in this country? Let's go get mad about that thing. It really is that ridiculous with this professional outrage culture. Hey, look, you got to smile and you got to laugh from time to time. There we go. Hang on, where did all my stories go? That's one story. Where's all of the stories? I have a pile of stories. Where's the rest of the stories? Did they all disappear? Oh, okay, good. All right, we're here for some Epstein news. Here's James O'Keefe Media Group.
Attorney General of the United States Pam Bondi was at the White House and disclosed what she represented as brand new information in relation to Jeffrey Epstein.
Brand new information. Put it in the comments. Okay. On a 0 to 100 scale, how much, this is a question of the day, how much faith do you have in Pam Bondi? What percentage? 100% faith? 0% faith? Type it in the comments. David, Huxley New, what do you think? How much faith do you have in Pam Bondi? Because President Trump says, oh, she's a pit bull. Oh, she's a bulldog. Oh, there's nobody tougher. And then she promises Epstein files and gives you a 1998 Kinko's booklet, a 3-ring binder hole punch thing with nothing new in it. In fact, some of the old stuff that we knew has been redacted. Why was it redacted? Who told them to redact that? How much faith do you have in Bondi? I am at about 1%. Look, I have faith that the Cleveland Cavaliers can come back from an 0-2 deficit against the Indiana Pacers and win the series and ultimately win the championship this year. Okay, now maybe that's delusional. Delulu, maybe. But I still have faith because I've seen things happen. The Cavs came back from a 3-1 deficit against the best regular season team of all time, the Golden State Warriors, to win the 2016 NBA championship. Anything can happen. But I'm down to 1% faith in Pam Bondi. How about you, David Huxley New? How much faith do you have in Trump's Attorney General, Pam Bondi? I have lost 99% of the faith I have in both Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. And look, maybe this is me being hyperbolic. I understand. They are announcing, look, we did a bust and we're taking down all these pedos. We're doing a bust. We're taking down all these child abusers, which is great. That sounds great. Of course, that sounds great. And I really do empathize, not emphasize. I empathize with there's active investigations. There are so many grotesque abuse rings going on. You don't want to alert all of them at the same time to go dark and go underground. They're going to dispose of the people. It gets super dark. I don't want to go too in the weeds here because this stuff gets super dark super fast. And my brain has probably been rewired from the horrific information that I've had to consume in order to understand the gravity of what's been happening in these abuse rings. You wonder why so many politicians are bribed and blackmailed and they vote stupidly on every issue you could imagine. They block the most obvious things that we should be doing. They push things that are ridiculous. No accountability. They're bribed. They're blackmailed. That's what the Epstein thing is all about. Who's behind Epstein? Where did the Epstein idea come from? Is it CIA? Is it Mossad? Is it shape-shifting reptilians? What the fuck is behind the people that are abusing kids? And for what purpose? To get them trapped. You're caught in the spider web. They got power over you. They got control over you. You've been caught in a trap, and now you're theirs forever. It's like you do, the mob does you a favor, and now you owe them. You owe them for life. So I have been screaming from the hilltops to get to the bottom of this, to root out the demons. Now, maybe it's an impossible task. Maybe there's no way we can ever get rid of the demons. But I'm going to have hope. I'm going to have hope in my Cleveland Cavaliers. If we're not eliminated, we got a shot. And I'm not going to accept no for an answer. I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to say, well, there's nothing we can do about it. I guess that's just the way it is. You know, Earth's kind of a messed up place. I don't know. I'm just going to keep my head down and do my thing and hopefully. But no. That's how things got to this point. You have to give a little bit of a shit. You have to care a little bit. You don't have to know the kids that are being abused to know that abuse to kids one place is an abuse to humanity everywhere. Silence in the face of that is really abhorrent. And unfortunately, that silence in the face of that really is what the left has used to kind of point their finger and call everything that they don't like an ism or ist or some sort. It's sexist. That's racist. That's bigoted. That's this. It's phobic. It's phobic. It's how dare you? I am beyond reproach. You cannot criticize anything about me or any of my ideas because I am a protected human being. Now that goes for certain religious groups. That goes for certain ethnic groups. That goes for certain sexual preference groups. And that's equally demonic because it takes away common sense, the mathematics involved of weighing an issue. Well, I think if we're going to look at it, we should probably do this thing and not that thing. Well, yeah, I'm going to yell at you. I'm going to call you mean names if you do that. You better comply. Like, I don't know. I don't want trouble. I don't want to have any problems. I just want to do my thing. So, yeah, that's what's been happening. Pam Bondi has the full support of President Trump. Kash Patel came highly recommended. But yesterday's show, I kind of lost it. Yesterday's show, I said, I'm out. When I heard Kash Patel say that Epstein did that to himself, I said, I'm done. I'm out. I can't do it. I can't fucking do this anymore. Wasn't he in the suicide watch room? Weren't the bed sheets like paper mache, like paper? They were like if you go to a doctor's office, they're like thin paper. They're not even sheets. You can't. Of course, you can't be allowed to have anything that you can harm you. No shoelaces, no ropes, no fabric. You could. It didn't make any sense. Oh, the cameras went down. Oh, the guards were just happened to be off of their post. I'm actually probably 50-50. I'm probably 50-50. I am beyond frustrated. I am fucking irate. Because we have finally one brief window. We've had a nightmare of 12 years of the Obama-Biden hellscape. And we had 4 years of Trump's first term ruined by fake impeachments, all sorts of nonsense. We've got a shot right now. I don't mean we, the Republicans, because you see Tom Tillis blocking Trump's appointment for the D.C. court. Trump was elected. Let him pick his person. And Tom Tillis is blocking him. What do they have on Tom Tillis? I don't like the Republicans. I don't trust the Republicans. I like MAGA. I don't fully trust MAGA, but I think MAGA is directionally accurate on a lot of the big important things. He was elected. Give him the things that he needs. Let him cook. He's the GM. Let him hire the coach. He's the GM. Let him draft the players. He's the GM. Let him make some trades. That's his job. Let him cook. Let him do his work. Tom Tillis is blocking him. When I heard yesterday Kash Patel say that Senator John Kennedy said, well, Mr. Patel, can you tell me what happened to Jeffrey Epstein? I believe he committed suicide in that cell. Are we ever going to get the Epstein list before I die? We are working on that, and there's a lot that we have to. We're working on that. It's been 120 days, 110 days. I get it. You want to do this in one fell swoop. You want to do it right, and with all these judges blocking you, you're having problems. You don't want to do this and give them double jeopardy. Well, they didn't convict. They didn't indict. They didn't give a guilty verdict. They're scot-free. You don't want to let them off the hook. But we are tick-tock into this first administration. 2 years. 2 years. We are already in the midterms, which is gross to think about because we just got done with a highly exhausting political season. Maybe the most interesting, epic political seasons you'll ever see. But now we're into the midterms, and we got to figure out who we need to get rid of. Tom Tillis, number one, out. Primary him, get him the hell out of North Carolina. But right now, you have the House, you have the Senate, you have the presidency, and you have theoretically a narrow margin in the Supreme Court, but you can't trust the Supreme Court. John Roberts, completely compromised and untrustworthy. Same with Amy Coney Barrett. Same thing. But somehow, Sotomayor, she's always allowed to vote for the stupidest thing possible. Nothing. Ketanji Brown Jackson or Jackson, what is it, Brown Jackson? Always votes for the wrong thing. The Democrats are always allowed to vote for the wrong thing. Republicans don't have that ability. They don't have that luxury. Sometimes they get some of the big picture things right. You got Alito, you got Thomas, you got a couple of people on the Supreme Court. By the way, Supreme Court Justice Souter just passed away. I did share that. I'll probably get to that in the stack. But I am 50-50, honestly. But I will loudly proclaim to be 99% out on both Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. Because time, tick-tock, go! I understand you don't want to compromise the investigation. You don't want to let these people off, and you don't want to screw it up. But my God, what if there's some way they're able to seize control of the House or the Senate or something and then start blocking you, and you're done. You've wasted all the capital you had. So I am screaming for the rooftops. Go. Go now. Go as fast as you can right now. So I'm 50% out on Bondi and Patel. I'm 99% out on Bondi and Patel. Oh, we're going to release the JFK files and the Epstein files. Wah, 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 What a troll. What a waste of time those files were. Anyway, I'll get to James O'Keefe in a second. We asked the question. David Ban says, I have patience, but it's getting a little unnerving to not see indictments. Yes. If this is a sting operation, then we know that's what is this? We believe are good and really the evil, it needs to go. Yeah, some are good and the evil does need to go. I know it's a sting operation. There's a plan. Trust the plan. Be patient. It's like, I've been hearing this shit for 9 years. 9 years. You let them steal the White House and run roughshod, screwing everything up that they touched. That is the Democrat brand. They break whatever they touch. MAGA are builders. Democrats are destroyers. Tear down that statue. Although I will say they did put up a completely random statue of a large angry lady in New York. I don't understand why. And I actually have another story. Something was put up in, was it France? Some angry lady on her cell phone, like, I'm unimpressed. I'm on my cell phone. What are you making a statue of this for? Have we given up as a culture, as a society? Maybe. Anyway. Whew. A lot to get to. Still, it's Pam Bond 2. There's no truth in anything they say about Mr. Epstein. Yes, Kenneth. This whole situation is an Epstein on America. Who did it? Who put him up to it? Who funded it? Who bankrolled it? Who financed it? Who covered it up? What are we talking? CIA, Mossad, shape-shifting reptilians. Who is abusing kids and for what reason? And how quickly can they be indicted, prosecuted, and strung up after being found guilty by a jury of their peers? If you can't protect kids, you have no nation. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Cash and tell. Cash do tell. Here is James O'Keefe.
The existence of tens of thousands of videos featuring little children.
Tens of thousands of videos abusing kids.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, this is the first time an official has publicly acknowledged that videos of Epstein and his victims exist. What you may not know is just 9 days prior, the Attorney General had a very similar conversation with a total stranger in a restaurant.
Do you know when the Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon. The FBI's been...
Okay.
So,
any dates?
No, you know what it is?
I don't buy this at all. I don't buy this at all. Nobody wants to see an image of a kid. Nobody wants to put more of this abuse material out there. So she's arguing something literally nobody wants. I don't buy her excuse. That's the problem I'm having.
Videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. So they have to go through every one.
And so we're still trying to figure out that Virginia Giuffre, what was she, 17, 18, 16, 15? There's, what do they say with autism and such? There's a spectrum. There's a spectrum. Well, you have 18-year-old adults and you have 1 day old. There's a spectrum. So when you get into the teens, 13 to 18, there are different girls that mature at different ages, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I thought Virginia Giuffre was 16 or 15 or 17. I don't know. If the older you get, the more difficult it is to figure out how old other people are. Sometimes 25-year-olds look like they're 15. Sometimes 15-year-olds look like they're 25. And you're like, I don't even know. But what Pam Bondi does is she's like, well, there's little kids. You say little kids, you're thinking 1 day to 12. Little. Like preteen. Just 1 day old. And she will say, oh, with infants and animals and awful stuff. And you go, yeah, Pam, nobody would ever want any of that to be released ever. We understand that. You can identify the people on the videos without showing the video. You can blur out all of the other human and show the perpetrator in a side-by-side video that's been redacted for things you can't see, or the black rectangle over parts, and you completely blur out the abused completely. I don't want to see any of it. And you can show that person. We have a list. We know who's on this list. I mean, we think we do. Speculation, I got former presidents, I've got actors, I have politicians, I have corporate leaders of Fortune 500 companies. I got a list in my head from the research I've done for the past decade. I got a pretty good idea of who's going to be on that, but we don't know. Okay. Kenneth, go through what? No excuse, babe. Yeah, no excuse. So, there's little kids. Nobody wants to see that. We want to see the fucking handcuffs on the monsters, on the demons. Throw them into solitary confinement. Put them in Alcatraz in a cage. Oh, well, Alcatraz isn't functional. Throw them in Alcatraz. Give them a pot to piss in. Put them in a dirty cage. All right, clean the cage. I don't like abuse. I don't like torture. I don't like what they did to the J6ers. I just don't like it in general. Fauci, I might make an exception for Fauci for killing half my family, my mother and my brother. Yeah, but if you make exceptions, then you have no moral principles. Shut up. You go through what I went through and you tell me if you'd be okay doing everything imaginable after Fauci was found guilty by a jury of his peers. I promise you. Let any father into the room with somebody who abused one of their children. Cracks knuckles. Ready to go Game of Thrones style. But Pam Bondi does this thing where won't somebody think of the children? It's the Simpsons joke with Maude Flanders. Won't somebody think of the children? Shut up. Stop scapegoating it with the children.
In the past, officials have spoken about the, quote, mountain of evidence in the Epstein case, but they've never, previous to that moment, acknowledged on the existence of videos of, quote, little kids. Just a few days later, at 2 p.m. on May 1st, our reporter sent the AG's office the text of the recording. We asked why this detail had not been disclosed to the public, but was instead being told to a random stranger at a restaurant. The Attorney General used almost the exact same language as she did with the stranger in the restaurant, language that we shared with her press office.
There are tens and thousands of videos, and it's all with little kids.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, we hesitated to publish this story, but believe, like we did yesterday, that the public has a right to know. And this one raises serious questions. On one hand, why did our country's highest law enforcement official share this information first not with the American people, but with a self-described nanny at brunch? But more importantly, why was this information held back in the first place? Does this show that a government apparatus is still working behind the scenes to protect powerful people involved in the scandal? Based upon the response to our Epstein story yesterday, it's clear that the American people want answers, and they want accountability.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Attorney General of the United States Pam Bondi was at the White House and...
Okay. Here's a question. Carmen Estelle official, would she have ever disclosed this had James not caught her on camera? All right. What was this? Number one, we just heard Pam Bondi say out loud what every thinking American already knew. Number two, Trump and Patel are still pretending that Epstein offed himself, in saying so every time they are asked about it, which plays into the mainstream narrative. Trump and Patel are either under threat of death, or they are bribed, or they are spiritually a part of the problem. Until I see someone like Hillary or Brennan or Podesta in handcuffs, I have to believe that this administration is compromised. These are some of the comments. Well, now we know the timing of the press conference. She had to get ahead of this. I am bothered deeply by this. All right, 65%. On a scale of 0% to 100%, how much do you trust Pam Bondi and Kash Patel? You're at 65%. I am at 50% now. 50%. Here's the only way any of this kind of makes any sense. And this might really be the only way any of this makes any sense. If Virginia Giuffre pretended to have her life taken and she's in witness protection. I never actually believed that Epstein was gone. I believe that he was taken out. He was either offed. You know, that's the story. No, the story is he did it to himself. I don't, you know, the Epstein didn't kill himself thing is big for a reason. Nobody believes that shit. Nobody believes that. So he was either taken out, silenced for reasons, or he was moved into protective custody. So time is going to tell. Huxley knew. That's the James O'Keefe version of, you know, like, did his reporting force Bondi to come out and say this? Is there going to be a day of reckoning? Will we please? Actually, let me see if I can find you this clip, because in context, here we go. If I can just play you this clip, it's relevant. Can I just get down to it quick? These are 3-minute clips. Here you go. He says, let me tell you what I do know. I'm going to share this clip with you. The best part of my day. Where'd this clip go? This is from the epic movie Good Will Hunting. These are best friends, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, talking toward the end of the movie. Matt Damon has infinite potential, and he's just kind of bumming around, wasting his time, getting drunk, getting laid. Jeez. I wonder if I could do my life over again. So many different paths I could have taken. And that's all of us. It really is. I don't know that I don't know. I don't know that I would. But maybe I would, having taken one path. Now I'd be like, well, I wonder what's behind the other doors. So many things about our lives, our careers, our families, our locations, our jobs, our experiences. All of that could be changed. And we all think that, right? All right, there's a question of the day. How about that? Let me do that. QOTD. If you could relive your current life from kindergarten, what would you do differently? I'm going to ask that as a question of the day. I'll pin it as well. What would you do differently? I know regret does suck. And I would say on one level, I don't regret a single thing. Now, on a second level, I'd say, well, yeah, I made mistakes. If I could go back and undo or redo or do instead of not doing, I got a list of 20 things off the top of my head. I'd go, no, that ended up on the blooper reel of my life. I'd rather not go through any of that again. And so, yes, I would make some little choices. I would, or big choices. You know, I'd rather not do that. But it's an unfair thing to ask. Kenneth, you're so on it. Like, there's so many things that you would go back and change, but you need that current wisdom that you gained by going through that thing. So yeah, I've made peace with, as a Christian, I believe I'm a innately flawed human being that makes decisions that are regrettable. And if I have to go speak to my Lord and Savior my creator at the end of this experience somehow, and play back the DVR of our lives. We get to go back to the moment and watch it through our eyes, listen to it. We can feel how it physiologically feels to fight or fuck or fail or flail or whatever we're doing in that moment, that to feel it, to hear it, to see it, to experience it again. Oh yeah. I mean, I got piles of things that are deeply unflattering, unfortunate, embarrassing. I'd probably disgust myself. We probably all do. Like, come on. Like, that's what it means. We're doing a choose your own adventure book. You open a page 37 or page 144. Whoop. I found the dragon and the dragon got me. No. I meant 37. I meant 37. Oh, okay. All right. Now I'm back on the path and I see a gold chest. Should I open it? Yes. Oh, no, there's a dragon inside the chest. I shouldn't have opened it. No. I said no. Go back to page 21. Okay. No. Oh, good thing I didn't open it. So yeah, we need our current wisdom to do that. And without the wisdom, we'd likely make the same mistakes. So what are we beating ourselves up over? 100%. Like that is so true. And that is where I've made peace with that. And I just try to be a little bit more discerning. I try to be a little bit more careful. I try to be a little bit more self-aware, of the impact we have on our surrounding environment. Another great movie, Jack Nicholson, at the beginning of The Departed, it's a full black screen. He says, I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me. So yeah, I mean, our interactions shape the universe that we end up in. David said, I don't think I would have done anything differently. Yeah, I think about it, though. I think about it. Because that's the clip I'm getting ready to show you with Good Will Hunting here. His choices. What is he doing? He's drinking, he's fighting, he's fucking, he's hanging out, he's just palling around with his buddies, but he's not applying himself. He's not going for things. And that's not to say that I feel like I've never gone for things. I booked a sold-out MTV Campus Invasion concert tour as a 20-year-old kid, booked a $100,000 show. I drafted the contract that I faxed off to the world's largest talent agency in Beverly Hills and booked them and sold out a show instantaneously. I've done things that were impossible. Then I went to Los Angeles with my band to go pursue options. And then I worked for that world's largest talent agency. I'm like, I hired you at 20. Can I work for you at 25? Like, I go for things. I take shots. I take risks. I take challenges. I take my eternal soul. I take it seriously. I keep reminding myself, and I'm not good at editing. I can do it. It's just my brain has a block with it. It's an excuse. I don't want to whatever, but I do have a video that you can find on YouTube where I interview John McAfee. And at the end, it reminds me of the Mitch Hedberg joke where he says, yeah, my friend showed me a picture. He goes, yeah, man, here, take a look. Here's a picture of me when I was younger. And I said, come on, man. Every picture is a picture of you when you were younger. If it's not, I go, where the fuck did you get that camera? So I had an interview with John McAfee before he died. Every interview would be with him before he died. But I do point it out to say he was offed. He was whacked. He had that whacked tattoo. He said, I'm not suicidal, just like Virginia Guffrey. And then bam, they're gone. And you're like, did they disappear? Did they use some hidden crypto money to pay somebody off to find a cadaver that would look enough like him so they could just hurry up and cremate, and they move along and he's gone, but now he's kicking it on an island with Biggie and Tupac? I knew Mr. McAfee. I've met him in person multiple times. I had him on the show a couple of times. He was very interesting. A lot of accusations about him. I called him the world's most interesting man, like the Dos Equis guy. I didn't know him well, but he was very, gracious with his time and interesting. But I told him, I said, if there's a God and I have to meet that God at the end of this experience, I want to be able to look my maker in the eye and say, I tried. Doesn't mean I got home runs every time I swung the bat. It doesn't mean every jump shot I took went in the net. Swish. It just means that I tried. And My God, not to bore you, and I'm zero interest in pity party. Don't get me wrong. It's just while I'm on this tangent, the amount of shit that I've had to sacrifice to go into independent media for 14 years, I can't tell you. I couldn't even begin to quantify the opportunity cost of what it cost me to not go into other areas, and the ways that it's harmed me by being outspoken and being honest. You fight demons, you fly over a target, you're going to take some flack. Oh, I mean, we've been demonetized, shadow banned, memory hold, complete accounts on Meta deleted, locked out of your account, silenced during the election, silenced during another election, silenced during the Rittenhouse thing, silenced during the recount, silenced. It hasn't been easy. It's like I build a boat and I launch it and someone takes it out. They're shooting missiles, they're drilling holes, you got bad actors flooding it intentionally. Like it's a million things. But you know, all I can do is try. Stuart Patterson, what's up, Stuart? You're new to the bar here. Welcome. If you just got here, I'll say it again. If you've been here from the beginning, I apologize, but I am Brian the bartender. I consider this to be my bar. So welcome, pull up a chair. And just like everybody else, I ask, where are you watching from? We have Huxley New over here on Rumble from New Zealand. We got David from Ontario. We got Kenneth from Florida. Who else came in? Somebody else popped in. Bella's chance. Bella's on the Cape over on the East Coast. I'm a bartender, so like I usually kind of remember what people drink. If you're a dirty martini person with triple olive, I'll remember it. If you're a double Jack and Coke, no, not that Jack. I want the gentleman Jack. All right, cool. I'll remember it. And you like it in the tall, skinny glass, not the pint glass. Okay. 3 limes. Gotcha. So anyway, there's a good regret one. Buying Bitcoin earlier and more. Oh, shit. Don't get me started on that. But yeah, regret is poison. It'll take you down to some dark places. And look, the whole point of this is just to say I try to live my life in a manner that I can just honestly say I tried. I gave it a shot. And I would not shut up when I saw bad shit happening. Oh, yeah? Well, then why don't you support our movements on the radical left wing? Because 100 reasons we can talk about on another day. Well, thank you, Stuart Patterson. Good philosophy, dude. We have to try. Not everybody does. And I've had phases of my life where I give everything I have. I'm telling you, after that 2016 election, 2017, I have a video I never released. I was with Blake Wally. We were in Los Angeles, California. I think he was visiting from Vegas at the time. Went to Conscious Life Expo and had a reading done, an angel reading. There were angel cards, and I never had the courage to watch the video. And I definitely wasn't going to post it. I have it on a hard drive somewhere. The demonic energy that I was battling in 2016 against Hillary and her campaign to just put Trump in as a stopgap to stop the hemorrhaging, to twist the tourniquet so our nation didn't bleed out. I was spent. I mean, my gas tank was dust. Nope, 18 gallons are not in this tank. I got dust. And I had to take a break. I had to catch my breath. I had to recalibrate the stuff that was going on and the stuff that we're still trying to get to the bottom of and hold people accountable for. It's a lot. It's a lot to carry. It's a lot to shoulder. And so Bella here saying 50% is generous. Trust is earned, and Bondi has not earned it yet. Yeah, and it's interesting why Trump gives her so much credit so early with so few accomplishments. Sometimes Trump is a little too loyal to the people that are loyal to him. But sometimes, and a lot of times, he's on top of things that we don't even recognize. Give it a second, and a lot of things end up working out. Far be it from me to bet against Trump. after surviving Butler and the golf course incident and all the lawfare where they're trying to, literally, Letitia James was, and Alvin Bragg, they were trying to Epstein him. They wanted to cage him like an animal. Oh, look, the cameras went off. Oh, he must have hung himself. Yeah, that's what happens when you go from luxurious, one of the richest men on the earth, to a cage. Of course, that's common. That happens. They wanted to Epstein him. They wanted to JFK him. So far be it from me to bet against the guy that keeps surviving the unsurvivable. We're living in very interesting times. So on one hand, I give President Trump credit. He trusts her, so therefore I'm gonna give a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. But I'm yelling. I'm starting to yell a lot. In yesterday's episode, you know, I don't view cussing as like a cardinal sin. It's just you open up your box of 64 crayons or 124 crayons, 128 crayons, whatever it is. You know, you got periwinkle blue in the corner. You got velvet. You got all these different. I haven't used this crayon. Look at it. I've never used this crayon. Let's try this. I use some choice language from time to time. But yesterday, when I was watching Kash Patel say that, yeah, his belief is that Epstein did that to himself, I was out. I was all out on Kash Patel. I'm done. I'm not doing this. I've lived through this for years. I'm not putting up with this anymore. And I got loud and I used the colorful crayons. But I'm still about 50% because the best part of my day, this clip here, Goodwill Hunting, the best part of my day. The alarm goes off. Man, and I'll tell you what, I am trying to get up earlier. I had a nice rhythm at 7. I am trying to get 6 a.m. My God, it is not working. I am trying. I'm like, all right, if I had just an extra hour in the morning to do show prep, if I could do this, if I could do that, I have all these things I'm juggling, chainsaws, trying to grab the right things. Here's an apple, crunch. Here's a chainsaw. Whoop, got the handle. Whoop, here's this. I'm having a hard time waking up an extra hour early in the morning, but the best part of my day is before I grab my phone. Why is that? I'll tell you. Let me just catch up on your comments. David says nothing is perfect. Yes, I know. And I do allow myself grace. You can only chase perfection. Yeah, and it's a good goal to aim at. If you're not aiming at perfection, why even aim? If any answer is fine, then why even take aim at something that you think is accurate? Yeah, Bitcoin earlier and more of it. Your mind was blown, Kenneth, on what? I don't know what that was in regards to. YouTube can't say shag. YouTube is such a mess. That I post? I don't know what that is. David asking, do you really think he is offed? No, I don't. I like to consider alternate realities where maybe John McAfee and maybe Epstein. Now, not because Epstein's a good guy, not because McAfee is. I liked him. He was accused of some really interesting stuff. I still haven't watched that documentary on. Did you all watch that documentary on John McAfee? I have not watched it. I've heard parts of some of the more outrageous claims in there. And in fact, at a fundraiser in Bel Air that I was at, I did film him giving a campaign speech when he was running for the Libertarian presidency. I also had his running mate. I believe he ran with Adam Kokesh. He was on a couple months ago. Month or two ago, maybe. I kind of forgot Adam ran with John, or that they were in the. I followed the election 4 years previously more than I did 4 years later, so it just all kind of blurs together. But no, I like to think that maybe these people are in witness protection program or that they're safe in somewhere. With Epstein, just, you know where all the bodies are buried, literally. Like, how bad is this thing? It's probably the worst thing you've ever imagined. But if there's to be any accountability, we got to go after the people that played the game. And it's not so much the people that were tricked or drugged or, you could be invited somewhere and now you're all in the middle of something. You're like, oh God. And Lord knows I've been invited places that by the grace of God, and I mean this legitimately. I was invited to one place in particular. And I was even told that there's a part of that place that's whatever. And I remember thinking, like, well, I'm interested in all the things, but not that part. Like, I'm not interested in that part. It's like, yeah, there's parties and there's all these girls. And you're like, yeah, I don't think that's really appealing. Now, the other business opportunities involved with that location, that island, that beach area, super interesting development opportunity, interesting business opportunities to build some stuff and create something. And I like creating things, whether that's the Earthship, Greater World Earthship community in Taos, New Mexico, 640 acres, and you build off-the-grid self-sustainable homes out of tires, bottles and cans, mud, catch your rainwater, you use it 5 different times, you filter it, have an indoor greenhouse, solar panels for electric, geothermal heating and cooling. I love building shit. I love creating things. I love it. So that opportunity was interesting, and my God, something very drastic occurred, and I couldn't do the thing that I was ready to do because I was looking for opportunities. I'm like, oh, what's this? I'll go look at that. I had a bit of a supernatural intervention that, according to the other person, literally involved demons trying to grab me. And some of that could be chalked up to a medical condition or medical induced pharmacological pharmacy medicine prescription drug induced fever dream or something, kind of coming out of a coma type stuff. Like, man, you were dreaming some weird shit. And then in hindsight and kind of putting pieces together, and you go, wow, maybe there was something different to that. And had that moment occurred, maybe I would have ended up in a spot through no fault of my own, with no intent of my own, maybe drugged, maybe abused, maybe this or that. And you go, oh my God. Now, I don't know if any of that could have been real. Maybe not. But we know for damn sure Epstein Island is not the only place that this type of shit is happening. Unfortunately, this stuff is everywhere. And you just wonder where. I go through all of my days and I don't see any of this stuff. But I wonder if it was a video game and you could see like an icon floating above somebody's head, like if it's in The Sims, you know, or you could see the thought bubbles, or like if a bad person glowed magenta. Here's another 64 crayon color. How many demons do we actually encounter and we escape? Or people that had bad intentions for us and they weren't able to lunge at us, or we caught on and got out of there, or something intervened. Like, I think if there's a creator, if there's a maker, and we get to talk to them after this experience, I'd be very interested to see the close calls in our lives, the times that we had Archangel Michael putting his wings over us to protect us. And I've had at least 2 occasions where people out of the clear blue sky, nothing I did to set them up on this conversation point, told me they were angels and they were sent here to help me. Really strange stuff. And it's only strange if you don't believe. I've been a lifelong believer. It's not strange to me, but it is jarring. It's just a lot to think about. There's a lot of things that inform my willingness, desire, need to do what I do. And I don't need to do it. And I don't need to do it this way, or I could do it in different ways and it doesn't take away. Like, there's 100 ways to slice that cake, slice that pizza pie. Mitch Hedberg has another joke. He says, Yeah, man. I went the other day to go get a slice of pizza. This dude gave me the smallest slice they had. He goes, you know how small this slice was? It was like the pie chart of what you would do if you won $1 million in the lottery. He gave me the donate it slice. The pie chart's like 1% of the people would donate all that money. That dude gave me that tiny slice of pizza. So anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot to think about. Pam Bonden gagged. Yeah, I mean, that JFK files, those JFK files certainly didn't come out the way we were expecting. Yeah, Kenneth, after the 2016 election, I cash pateled out. Bella, I agree. Cussing just shows emphasis. It's just putting a highlighter on some emotions. Oh, Kenneth usually wakes up at 5 a.m. More power to you. Sometimes I'm up till 5 a.m. I used to do that all the time. I would be up all night listening to Coast AM, bartending, playing poker, playing in a band, being out, like up late, sleeping till 12, 1, 2, 3. I've shifted it. I'm kind of like 7 o'clock now, but I'm trying to set for 6 a.m., squeeze an extra productive hour out of my day. Have not been super successful yet. David saying Pam Bondi needs to make some major arrests. I concur. Congress is doing nothing. The Senate is basically not doing much either. It is so disgusting. So disappointing. Did the party feature a rump in the room? Well, you know. Oh, rump is room. Rump is room. No, but I lived in Hollywood. I'm going to fundraisers with John McAfee in Bel Air. I'm being invited to Eyes Wide Shut parties in Hollywood. You know, maybe not exactly framed that way, but like kind of like on the DL, like, yo, it's kind of like, hey, come to this, like multiple people at multiple events going to multiple, and I'm like, you know, I mean, I'm like theoretically interested, but like, what am I walking into? But there's a huge difference between someone like going to a party. You know, LeBron is on camera. He's like, hey, there's nothing like a Diddy party. And it's like, yeah, you can see crazy stuff at a Diddy party. And it's like having an orgy on a bed and it's out in public and you're all kind of like voyeuristically watching. And you're like, wow. All right. Some people are, there you go. So be it. Fine, whatever. But then there's a next level of someone slips something into your drink and then you're out of it and you're taken advantage of on camera and you're embarrassed and you're ashamed. And then therefore you're going to do what you're told. How much of that was happening? I wonder how many people got abused into a situation that's like, you don't want anyone to see that tape. You don't want to see anybody with those pictures of you. And you're like, ugh. And then there's people like former president such and such, who's been rumored to go down there 1.5 million times. Not such and such. We all know it's Bill Clinton. You can end up in a spot. You're at a party. Now you're in a room and then something, you know, you're roofied. I know people have been roofied. I've been a bartender. I've seen a lot of stuff. Got to be careful. Never leave your drink unattended. Cover your drink when you're sitting there talking to people. Don't talk to weird people. Like, have a support system of people around, like all the things. You just wonder, how did so many people get caught up in this? So yeah, maybe they donate and then say, hey, come on, we're doing a thing. And then you're at a thing. And you're like, wow, this got weird quick. And then you realize that you've gotten pictures with your hand around this guy. And now you're connected to an Epstein. You're like, oh God, I want nothing to do with this. There's pictures of Trump like that. There's theories that Trump is on those tapes. Maybe that's why they're not coming out. Until we know, we don't know. So until we know, we don't know. And we're beyond patient. Oh, we're trusting a 9-year plan. Well, fucking get to it already. Launch, go. Oh no, just a few more years until the Dems can wrestle the Senate or the House away from the Republicans. Then we'll unleash the plan. Shut up with the plan. I don't believe the plan. I don't trust the plan. But also, please prove me wrong. That is the only thing that would make about 1,000 other things make sense. And in hindsight, you go, all right, well, knowing now what I didn't know then, I guess it does make sense why that didn't happen. I guess it does make sense knowing now what I didn't know then, why that didn't happen. Why it did, why it didn't. Now I get it. And it's like the comments you guys said about what would you change about your life? Well, I wouldn't have the wisdom if I didn't experience that. So let's continue on. My favorite part of the day is when I wake up before I grab my phone, before I even swipe, before I even see my text messages. Is that the first thing you people check? Do you check your text messages first? I don't know. Am I the only one, or does everybody check your text messages first? Before I get, because if there's a big story, I have sources. I have sources. Is that the right word? Contacts, sources, general well-wishers who know what I do. People out of the clear blue sky will shoot me text, go, hey, did you see this? Because they know, like, I'm the guy. Because as you scroll, a lot of people go, well, what do I do with this? Oh, send it to Brian. Send it to the New American Media. He'd love to talk about this. Did he know? Does he know this? Or like, holy shit, look, it finally happened. That's my favorite part of the day. My favorite part of the day is right before I click into messages, because that could be the day that everything dropped. You know how CNN just happened to be there when they raided Roger Stone, dragged him out in his pajamas at gunpoint? The weaponized Department of Justice, injustice, running the Obama doctrine through Biden's fake presidency, his 4-year clusterfuck. Absolutely a puppet. Absolutely a traitor. Absolutely a alleged Ashley showering, Hunter raising, degenerate scumbag who always touches and smells kids. Yeah, that guy's not human. He's a demon. Or he's not. You know, I'm just being hyperbolic, coloring with a fancy crayon. I used marigold. But the stuff we went through, it doesn't make any sense unless there's some sort of a plan. Unless it's been a giant sting operation. Oh, we're going to get them all. The first arrest will shock the world. Okay. But my favorite part of the day is right before I click on my phone, right before I see what's going on. Because I might wake up to a 4 a.m. raid that was simultaneously executed worldwide. And you know, if you close your eyes and you think of the 50 people that you would assume are on that list, the worst of the traitors, the people that brought rapists and murderers into our country to destroy our communities. One of these days, I pray, I hope that I'm going to click right before the best part of my day is right before I find out, is today the day I'm going to wake up to all of the alerts, all of the text messages, all of the the best part of waking up. Is finding out that we've exposed the cover up. No, it's Folgers in your cup. Nice, Kenneth. Nice. Best part of my day is right before I click to find out, because that could be the day that it all happens. I'm not holding my breath, trusting a plan. Oh my God, that would explain so much. And it's one of the only things that would make sense of so much of this. Similar to the ancient aliens theory. It's like, I don't know if I believe some of this, all of this, none of that. I don't know, somewhere on the spectrum, once again. But I'll tell you what, it certainly would explain a hell of a lot that makes no GD sense. Ancient alien theory, like, I just, a light switch went off. I go, that explains so much. I don't know if it's true, but oh my God, it connects so many dots that have never made sense. Here's Matt Damon, the best part of the day. This is Ben Affleck talking to Matt Damon. Let me tell you what I do know.
Tell you what I do now. Every day I come by your house and I pick you up.
Every day.
And we go out, we have a few drinks and a few laughs, and it's great.
Have a few drinks, a few laughs, and it's great.
You know what the best part of my day is?
What?
For about 10 seconds from when I pull up to the curb when I get to your door. Because I think maybe I'll get up there and I'll knock on the door and you won't be there. No goodbye, no see you later, no nothing.
You just won't be there. In the context of this is that Will Hunting, Good Will Hunting, he's a genius. He's got talents nobody. People would kill to have the talent that this dude has. And his best friend, they have good laughs and good times. But the best part is that 10 seconds, because one of these days he might not walk out that door because he decided he's going to finally apply himself. Finally, go seek out things, epic things, undoable things. The best part of his day.
Just left. I don't know much, but I know that.
That's a bitter pill to swallow, because he's saying it from a good place in his heart. He's saying it from a place that cares. Best part of my day is, am I going to wake up and find out that there have been 10,000 arrests, all coordinated? You got them in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Jacksonville, Bismarck, North Dakota. Oh my God, Washington, D.C. You got to have the military involved to like coordinate all of this. How do you keep it under wraps without tipping them off? Hey, Michael Ray, how are you, sir? That's the best part of my day, people. The best part of my day. XRP to the moon soon. How far do you expect XRP to go? I was looking the other day. It's my second best performing investment now. Ethereum's down a little bit. That used to be number 1 or number 2. Bitcoin is up. XRP is doing well. I hodled. Should have bought more of it, but I held it through all of those ridiculous lawsuits and crap. And then it popped, but it's still kind of like sitting at what, $2 to $3 a coin? Yes, let's cuff them all, Michael Ray. Best part of my day is right before I look at my phone, because it might be the day that it happens. Gold. Are you saying you own gold, or we should own gold? Kenneth, you're saying that XRP is going to hit 10? I mean, maybe it will. All right. Let's show you this story. Are you aware of this? So I don't even know what's happening here or why, but this is in the news. There's a 12-foot fat black statue placed in Times Square. Now, I don't know that this person is black. I mean, they have braided hair, but anybody could braid their hair. Times Square, a 12-foot statue of a random person. Rob Schneider says, replacing people that built this great country with fat, angry people who have accomplished nothing. I did see Rob Schneider down in Nashville at a Bobby Kennedy comedy event last election season. It was good. So here's the comparison. You know, the left wants to take down statues of Thomas Jefferson, the guy who helped create America. And now we're singing and dancing, just putting an unimpressed, angry lady. Is this a generic lady? Is this supposed to be somebody in particular? I have a lot of questions. This comment says, according to the website, the work was created with the idea of disrupting traditional ideas of what a triumphant figure looks like. Huh? Pay your respects and leave a cheeseburger at her feet. Now, okay. Cameron saying we've become a joke as a country. How embarrassing for America, really. Like, I believe, is this a no-name lady, or is this any lady of consequence? Either way, they're trying to tear down Washington and Jefferson statues, and this is what's going up in their place. So, fun times. All right, Defeat Democrats put this out and says, sellouts. Disney once sued Ron DeSantis, don't forget, over a bill that was protecting kindergarten through grade 3 kids from talk about sex. Come on, kindergartners, third graders, that's beyond the pale. When did you have, actually, there's a good question of the day. When did you have your sex ed class? When did you have sex ed courses? I believe I had mine in 5th grade, was like the big year for it. Bella's chant saying, and if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. but I wanted to believe in 17, justice, and all its trappings. And of course, 17 refers to if you know, you know. You know, they have like scratch and sniff fragrances, or in magazines, you have the scratch and sniff, or toys or kids things, or scratch and sniff. God knows what toxins we were inhaling at that. But if you can't scratch and sniff no, I didn't mean scratch and sniff that statue. Sorry, that came out a little weird. But if it had a button to play a sound, oh no, you didn't. The oh no, you didn't statue. All right, so Kenneth is saying XRP to $10, then to $100. Cool. But anyway, yeah, I had my sex ed conversation in 5th grade. We don't need that kindergarten through 3. So Ron DeSantis was sued by Disney. Was it by Disney or by a group and Disney was a part? I don't know how that exactly was. But they're saying DeSantis defeat Democrats, says DeSantis was sued over a bill protecting kindergarten through 3rd grade kids from sex talk. Now they're building a theme park in Abu Dhabi where being gay can get you beheaded. Hypocrisy doesn't get more pathetic. And there you go. Disney again at the center of this. Disney, ABC, ESPN. What have they been pushing? From Caitlyn Jenner to ESPN, Colin Kaepernick, to Jimmy Kimmel. Ugh. God, that guy's been unwatchable for at least a full decade. ABC, ESPN, Disney, at it again. Hypocrisy knows no bounds. Bunch of people here screaming, we want Sharia law. Okay, well then go home. Because we ain't doing it here. Check this one out. This is pretty great. Dividend Hero says, here's the Vatican City after electing an American Pope. Here's another question today. How do you feel about this American Pope? Are any of you Catholic? Any thoughts on that? David saying, what I want to see is arrests so that the price will drop again and clear out the dirty money these criminals have invested in it. Oh, there's a good thought. But yeah, here's Vatican City after electing an American Pope. You got a Costco, you got a Waffle House, and a Buc-ee's. That's kind of funny. Deep dish in the heart of Rome, about to piss off all the Italians because of the Chicago aspect. So, I don't know. I don't, as a Christian, and you can say Catholics are Christians, and I get that, but there's a difference. Catholics are like a whole unique thing of their own. Mother Mary and beads, and Mary's a great woman, but she's not God. And the Pope has an important position according to the Catholics, but he's not Jesus Christ. I don't fully understand the obsession with the Pope at all. But it is the first American Pope, which is noteworthy. It's Pope-worthy, noteworthy. That's just funny. Buc-ee's, Costco, and Waffle House at the Vatican now. Yeah, this is funny. So here's the image that Donald Trump shared. People were asking, who's going to be the next Pope? And so somebody created this, and Trump's like, they said, sir, wouldn't it look good if we made you dress as the Pope? And we sent that out. That would get the radical left, losers and lunatics, all sorts of fired up. They said, sir, send it. And I sent it. Boss, that's a good one. I don't know about that, since my family was the first presidency to be Catholic in the White House. I think it's a little sacrilegious, but it is also kind of funny, in my opinion. Whew. And if my impressions suck, that was me going from Trump to Elon laughing to RFK Jr. But anyway, so someone shared this and Trump shared it out because I don't know. I don't believe it's sacrilegious. I don't think do I care about the Pope? Nope. I don't understand it. I'm not going to sit here and bash. That's not what I'm here to do. I don't get the big deal. So when President Trump shared this, like who should be the next Pope? He's like, I'll be the next Pope. Why not? Seriously, why not? It's just a dude. Daily Wire, the quote is we'll show the clip.
Some Catholics were not so happy about the image.
Saying, the reporter saying some Catholics were not so happy about the image. Listen to President Trump's reaction.
Of you looking like the Pope.
Oh, I see. You mean they can't?
And by the way, when's the last time liberals cared about the church? Stop it. Just everything has to be, I hate Trump, orange man bad. It's like, yeah, go sit in the corner with the other 20% of this country that have mental disorders. The rest of us are trying to do things. Go sit in the corner. Go sit at the kids' table at Thanksgiving. So funny. Oh, some people were outraged. Oh, were they? They can't
Take a joke. You don't mean the Catholics. You mean the fake news media. Not the Catholics loved it. I just saw it last evening. Actually, my wife thought it was cute. She said, "Isn't that nice?"
My question about it.
My wife thought it was cute. She said, isn't that nice?
I would not be able to be married, though. That would be a lot. I'd have to.
We don't deserve this guy. Like, this is having a stand-up comedian in the White House. He's like, I couldn't have a wife, though, if I were the Pope. I'd have to, I don't know if that would work.
To the best of my knowledge, popes aren't big on getting married, are they? Not that we know of, no.
Some Catholics were not so.
Here's the libs. How dare President Trump desecrate the image of the Pope? Also libs. Hey, see this Olympic celebration? This is brave and beautiful. All these men dressed as women recreating the Last Supper for the Olympics for some reason. You know, the hypocrisy knows no bounds. So you got to laugh at it. Here's another statue, 4-meter bronze statue. Check this out. I don't know what's going on with these global, mundane, unimpressed, angry lady statues. Is this going to be a trend? Will we see more of this?
A 4-meter bronze statue of a woman looking at her phone was put up in Florence, Italy. Dude, are we good? Are we good? I know AI is getting scary good these days, but this is real. Bro. These beautiful sculptures in this plaza in Florence. And then you just have this. Bro. It's been up for a month and it's already been vandalized. And even though I obviously don't condone that, just look at this photo. Look at that. Next to all this beauty. And that's the best you could come. How embarrassing, dude. It's supposed to be some contemporary art piece of her facing her back and turning back from all of the other historical culture. It's just turning her back to power. Not doing something triumphant. Not accomplishing any great task. Just look at. How is this real, dude? Just looking aggro, looking at their phone, completely ignoring all. I can't even come up with a joke because this is so laughable.
Is this person bald? I'm not like making a joke here. Like I see flowing hair from the ear. Is this like a skull cap? Is this bald? Is this like an extreme mullet? Telly Savalas in the front. David Lee Roth in the back. Man, look, I don't know why I just gave you the like super ultra 80s references. Telly Savalas and David Lee Roth. Looking like Polk and McKinley over here, huh? Yeah, get a load of this. Polk and McKinley. I don't know if any of them are bald or headlong here, actually. Want to acknowledge a comment. It's weird. John Seebeck here says, yes, I believe they're dedicated to justice 100%. Making concrete criminal indictments takes time. Yes, it does. But the weird thing is you commented, and I can see it on this screen, not this screen or this screen. Your comment on Facebook is supposed to show up, but it's not. Kenneth is saying Trump is the Pope of Hope. All hail the iPhone. But David, good point here. People will understand more when the truth comes out about the Catholic Church. I remember I did watch that movie a long time ago about the abuse in the church. And, Oh my God. How long? That's a whole other topic. I mean, I guess it's the same topic, but we've covered enough on that point with the Epstein thing. Just insert Catholic Church for Epstein. Ritualistic abuse and power and control and demonic activity masquerading wolf in sheep's clothing. Yes, it all applies to any place with power, of course. But yeah, are we okay? Humanity, are we okay? This is what we're doing now.
And remember, this is Italy. Dude, I'm without speech.
And the U.S., not to be outdone, of course, is like, hold my beer. Because we went ahead and put this up in Times Square. Times Square. Why are we doing this? Dude, we don't live in a serious country. I used to say country. We don't live on a serious planet, dude.
Yo, somebody call Elon. Send me directly to Mars, dude.
Somebody call Elon and send me directly to Mars. I don't get it. All right, so let's examine who this new pope is. Is he? Hey, look, he's American. We should look. We won. What did we win? Who is we? What are we even talking about? What does it even mean? Social media posts from the new pope. So who did we get? And I say we, I just mean humanity. He's not my pope. I'm not Catholic. Some people consider Catholicism culty. Robert Prevost tweeted in February 25. Oh, this is super recent. J.D. Vance is wrong. Jesus doesn't ask us to rank our love for others. I don't really see the context here, so I'm not entirely certain what that's referencing. Robert Prevost tweeted in 2015, Cardinal Dolan, why Donald Trump's anti-immigrant rhetoric is so problematic. Oh, well, is President Trump's anti-immigrant rhetoric problematic? Problematic to what? Why is the Catholic Church so involved with moving humans around the globe? Dumping millions of unvetted criminals, monster abusers. They're not abusing monsters, but they're abusive monsters into our communities to overthrow the sovereign populations of these nations, almost as if to usher in some one world order, some antichrist character that could unite everyone. Maybe there's a shared threat to humanity from, I don't know, maybe a virus or maybe aliens, right? Maybe we should stop moving 30 million people into America. God knows how many in Canada. Look at Europe. It's on fire. You've overthrown the populations, the sovereign nations, the sovereign populations. Sweden, Ireland, England, Germany, France, Spain, Italy. Go to any place and see what's been happening and look at the Catholic Church influence on it. So it's problematic, is it, Robert Prevost? Is it now? More posts. More. Are these related? Pope Leo the 14th. And we did cover this yesterday. It was breaking news. Okay, I guess those are just the only two. I thought there were more. Oh, there are more. Hold on. Okay, Bishop. These are the things that Robert Prevost reposted. Bishop Michael Olson says, I join my voice in prayers to those of my brother bishops that we might work hard to end racism in our hearts and society. May God give comfort to the family of George Floyd in this time of anguish. He retweeted Rocco Palmo saying Trump's bad hombres line fuels racism and nativism. Cali bishops send a preemptive blast on the DACA repeal in 2017. So these are the things that Robert Prevost is pushing. Sister Helen Pregene says, I stand with the dreamers and all people who are working toward an immigration system that is fair, just, and moral. Defend DACA. Yeah, what's moral about having your country invaded by people that are not citizens, lady? But the Catholic Church, Catholic charities, they seem to be really behind this colonization. I wonder why. In all of the human trafficking of kids, huh? Let's keep our eyes peeled. Robert Prevost retweeted as from Rocco Palmo, as Trump and Bukele use Oval to feds illicit deportation of a U.S. resident, once an undocumented El Salvadorian himself. Do you not see the suffering? Is your conscience not disturbed? How can you stay quiet? That's not a U.S. resident, illegal resident, alien, illegal alien, criminal foreign alien. But Robert Prevost is buying that line of bullshit, pushing those lies and propaganda, is he not? Either he's being duped by people. But you know what? If you're being duped, it shows a lack of general intellectual curiosity enough to understand the story before you start running your mouth and retweeting about it, I would imagine. Maybe I'm being too harsh on the guy. I'll give him a chance. He retweeted in 2017, to my colleagues, your cowardice to act cannot be whitewashed by thought and prayers. None of this ends unless we do something to stop it. So they're saying it's a woke pope. So I'm going to ask woke pope button. Let's see how many people think that it's the woke pope. I don't know. But I couldn't roll my eyes any harder at the initial accusations. Hey, did you check this out? You hear that there are attacks happening, Muslim-inspired attacks, perhaps. I know that would be shocking to learn. But maybe it happened. Pakistan-India border. They're saying the real crime at the Pakistan-India border? It's these dance moves. I have to mute the sound. Do 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 do. This is what happens at the Pakistan-India border. They're dancing like some clowns and they're having lots of fun, so dance it. 'Cause they're dancing so bad, just walk it, high step it, kick up to my forehead, see it. Here I am dancing in fancy garb. Don't you all love it? Look at my arms, just dance it. Just dance it. Whoo! I don't get what's happening at the border, but come on. I can't give you all of that doom and gloom without having something to laugh at. It might be funnier with the music, but I thought my interpretation was kind of hilarious. I think my version of the song, it could stand alone. I should release it. Like, I should sell it to Weird Al. Anyway, that's kind of hilarious. Love it. Listen to this Temple University student for justice in Palestine president saying the quiet part out loud. Where's the volume? Here we go.
Existential connection between the Palestinian students movement and the political prisoners. So the Palestinian student, the day after of Oslo, they changed their activism from the campus to the armed struggle. If Palestine is liberated, this means this is a nail to dismantle the United States of America. We know it's
to dismantle the United States of America. Aww. He's so misunderstood. We should welcome him in with open arms to destroy my home. No, I'm good.
Victory when a red triangle goes above an Israeli soldier's head and the pig gets iced. Like, we know that's a victory. We know it's a victory when prisoners break out. We know it's a victory.
It's a victory when prisoners break out. What did the red triangle over an Israeli's head? What is that a video game reference? I don't know what he's saying with that.
When all these things happen. But a lot of people don't necessarily know that. And it's not their fault they don't know that. It's our fault.
We will free Mumia because it is our job to destroy imperialism, destroy the United States.
Oh, it's to destroy the United States. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Or wait, that's insurrection. That's treason. That's traitorous activity. That's subversion. These are crimes against the country. Oh, You said that out loud.
And
Oh, that lady's nodding her head.
destroy
That kid on the right's nodding his head.
capitalism
The guy on the bottom left is nodding his head. These people are all in agreement.
and the system of extraction that it relies on to perpetuate itself. And we will do it by organizing in a manner.
So, look. Where'd Nimbus go? When people are complaining about evicting anti-American people from America, this is what you're getting rid of. People that are only here to destroy this place. Those are called, oh God, there's 1,000 names for what that is. Insurrectionists, traitors. I don't know. What do you want to call it? What is it? It ain't good. If there's non-citizens here that are trying to destroy our country, hey, I mean, you're trying to lead an uprising to destroy my nation? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's treasonous activity and you should be in jail. At least deported.
Manner that actively
they want to actively undermine and destabilize the United States.
Undermines and destabilizes the legitimacy and the, power of the state and the power and legitimacy of capitalism.
Yeah, so if capitalism's gone, then you get all the power and control and we get to be servants and slaves. No thanks. Anyway, adios, bad hombres. See you later. We're getting reports here that Syrian Islamists are going village to village, murdering, I don't know how to pronounce this, Druze, D-R-U-Z-E, and Christians in Syria. Imagine this happening where you live. It's reminiscent of the John McCain, Barack Hussein Obama years of ISIS that the CIA was funding, allegedly. All the white Toyotas going village to village, just butchering Christians. I'm not okay with this. Imagine 1,000 men in convoys going town to town trying to kill you and your family because of your beliefs, says the Truth United here, who posted it. This can be a reality in our first world countries in the next 10 years. 10 years isn't long, is it? Exactly. Act now whilst you can. Are Christians cooked or will they stand up? We'll put stand up button. Oh yeah, Barack Hussein Obama is no fan. No fan. Oh, he can claim to be Christian, and you can listen to Reverend Jeremiah Wright. Damn the United States. Okay. David saying, how are they going to use Project Bluebeam? Yeah, everyone knows about their nonsense. Yeah, it's the weekend. How about David? I'm sorry, Kenneth. Good point. It's the weekend. How about we just call it Project Jim Beam? I'll put these comments up here again. Project Jim Beam. Let's freaking go. Yeah, this is the moment when I lost all faith in Kash Patel. Senator Kennedy. Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him? Kash. I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center. Kennedy. Are you going to release all of the information about that before I die? We are now 99% out on Patel. Please prove us wrong. When Kennedy starts mocking you, you know you done effed up. I'm starting to think Kash Patel's compromised after that statement, unfortunately. Protect Senator Kennedy at all costs. Kash is compromised. We don't deserve Senator Kennedy. Why vote anymore? No matter who you elect, it's the same BS. Burn it all down. The unspoken truth is the entire federal government would collapse if the files were released. The biggest names are complicit. Senator Kennedy. Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jeffrey Epstein. Name 3 things that don't hang themselves. In this comment, I'm not going to lie. I'm really starting to not like Pam and Kash. It's all talk. He's covering. Epstein was Mossad. Just read the comments, guys. We're not the only ones here. Kash has been the biggest fucking disappointment. Whoever made the post about... Anyway, blah, blah, blah. We're done. We are so fed up. And we put down here at the bottom, this is the moment we officially bailed on Cash along with Bondi. F grade. What are these people doing? Please prove us wrong. I already posted this. James O'Keefe, part 2 of 3 in the Pam Bondi thing. Tens of thousands of videos of little kids just talking to some stranger. And then she makes the identical statement publicly, trying to get out in front of the story, maybe? I don't know. All right. You know, we're not angry enough about what's going on in this country. This is a video out of Thomasville, Alabama. Let me see if I can find details on this story. Ask Grok. Thomasville, Alabama crash. May 6th. Oh, God, this was just... is my... did my mouse just stop working? Oh, great. I think I'm going to need to charge this. Oh, doggone it. Get a wireless mouse, they say. It'll be fun to charge it, they say. Oh, will it? Will it now? Oh, good grief. It's done. Harumph. Okay. Deadly crash occurred in Thomasville, Alabama, May 6, 25 at 11:51 a.m. at the intersection of a loaded semi-truck driven by a 45-year-old named Andre Dimiterko of Pennsylvania. Struck 4 vehicles stopped at a red light, offing 2 of them and injuring 4. Woody Earl Beck, 53, a beloved coach. Ashley Marie Springer McDonald, an employee at Jack's Restaurant. This Dimiterko was in the U.S. on a work visa, facing 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter, and a second driver was off duty in the truck at the time. Truck did not brake before the collision, causing a fiery crash. Thomasville Mayor Sheldon Day noted a language barrier as both drivers reportedly spoke only Russian. So was this an attack, actually? This guy didn't slow down. Was this an attack? Payback for funding Ukraine. Oh, this... Now I need to charge this and I can't... Let me see. Do I have the ability? Not this one. No, not this one. Maybe this one? Oh, maybe I can charge it this way. This will be wonky. Let's see if we can do this. Maybe I can... No, this is female to female. I need a male. No, I don't need a male. That came out wrong. Here, let me try this. Okay, that's a female. This is the male. Oh, wait, now I can't do this either because this has to be plugged in for this to work. Oh, I'm so confused. And I moved my other device. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to use different things. Anyway, they're calling this a careless act, but I don't know if this is accidental. Here's the video. Doggone it. This is why drivers need to pass a driver's license test. You need to speak English. You need to write and read English, comprehend English. Just what in hell? That dash cam footage is just atrocious. Ugh. Just unfortunate. It's just another reminder that you need to be able to speak, write, read, and understand English to drive in this country. Moving on, Sean Farash says, notice why Tom Tillis said he wouldn't confirm Ed Martin. He said he believed X, Y, and Z about January 6th. He kept bringing up how he felt. Not once did he bring up representing his constituents. Not once. That's because those who voted for Tillis wanted Martin confirmed. He doesn't care. He doesn't represent you. He represents himself, and he needs to be fired. I agree. The Pentagon has begun the immediate removal of trans-identifying personnel. I think we should have compassion for anybody suffering from gender dysphoria disorder. We should be working with them to help them, teach them that they're loved, how they were built. You have perfectly functional sex organs. You can orgasm. You can have children. You can dress how you want. You can kind of like live yourself as fully as you want. You can have as many cosmetic surgeries as you want if you really insist. But please don't buy into the notion that you can change from a man to a woman or a woman to a man. You can't. Don't believe that throwing on a skirt means you get to hang out in the ladies' locker room or you get to spike a volleyball into their face. You don't. That's common sense. You just don't get to do that. You can still be loved. You can still have compassion toward individuals suffering from gender dysphoria, but we got to work on that. Doing this in the military is not the place to do that now. I don't fully understand why the Obama doctrine really pushed this as hard as they did and got so many people like ABC, ESPN, Disney to just go right along with it. Oh, we got our script. We got our talking points. Go. Well, just because someone's saying it doesn't make it true. You're loved. Please don't harm yourself. Please don't abuse yourself. And hands off the kids and stay out of the locker rooms. It's pretty straightforward. Bella's Chance asking, doesn't it make you wonder how they got to cash? Yeah, I'm deeply disappointed.
This is why we're
kind of talking about the left and the right and the difference between them. So here's a conversation about the cult. What does it mean to be on the left? Tim Pool famously, formerly on the left, not so much anymore. He has thoughts about it in this conversation. Who's he talking to? Hardy Boys Media puts this out. Trigonometry. Here we go.
refer to the left largely as a cult.
You say the left is a cult.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the whole of the left. Let's be fair, Tim. That is a very small percentage of people. I can do the same thing with the right. And I can say, look, the right, they're completely insane. Look at these nutbags on Twitter.
You'd be wrong.
Really?
Yeah. RFK Jr., former liberal. Tulsi Gabbard, former liberal. Donald Trump, former liberal. Elon Musk, former liberal. Colin Wright, former liberal. Tim Pool, former liberal. How is it that the popular vote winner, Donald Trump, was a Democrat up until his first term? That Tulsi Gabbard, DNI, former Democrat, that I supported in 2020. I never voted Republican. I didn't like Republicans. And now the Republican MAGA movement, not the neocons, is an eclectic bunch of diverse views which debate each other. How is it that Charlie Kirk, Christian conservative with one of the largest conservative platforms, invites moderate pro-choice Tim Pool onto his stage for his biggest event of the year to discuss those views to the public? On the left, what do you think would happen if you went and opposed their views at a public forum? You'd be threatened with violence. And I'm not saying literally everyone all the time, but booking liberals to come on my show or any other show, people in this
we have the same problem.
Yeah.
They refuse to do it.
They don't want to talk.
Back in, I think it was 2018.
But George, we should say why as well. They're scared of their own side.
Yeah.
It's a cult. So I can sit in front of a libertarian like Dave Smith, who's going to rant about how Israel is bad, and Charlie Kirk at the same time, and we leave with beers in our hands, smiles on our faces. And Dave will say, Charlie, I really do appreciate it. I think you do good work. I know we disagree. The left doesn't do that. They firebomb your buildings. Or they just don't show up. Or they try to get you fired. They SWAT you. They harass you. The reason I say it's a cult is because you could not define what they believe. It's impossible. Hassan Piker famously made a video responding to me where he said, I said the military-industrial complex is a bad thing. The U.S. imperialism imposing its will through financing. He pauses the video and he says, he's completely right on this one. I agree. And then I said, this is why I don't think Ukraine is a special case. Why the U.S. has given Ukraine more money than Israel in 2 years than Israel got in 50. And then Hassan breaks and goes, this guy actually thinks we shouldn't support Ukraine? Now be consistent, buddy. Are you concerned about U.S. imperial expansion into foreign countries, or are you simply pretending that's the case?
By the way, here's another case of random, unnecessary, irrelevant music playing in the background while I'm trying to listen to a conversation. And then YouTube might use this as an opportunity to demonetize, shadow ban, and remove the distribution capabilities of this video because of it. They are disingenuous. They are terrible business partners. They are gatekeepers. They are deep state assets. They're DARPA-funded, DARPA-created monstrosity that we think is a free and open platform for us to share funny cat videos, but it's not. I digress. Let's continue with Mr. Poole.
You could not map the logic of their principles or plan for this country.
It's about feeling.
No. I think it is, but if you break it down, it's largely about adhering to the murmuration. The left swings around randomly in random directions. Nobody knows exactly where they're turning left or right or up or down. They're just trying to make sure they stay safely in a position where someone else won't bludgeon them in the head with a bike lock.
It's really devolved into this, and it's sad. And we need to really start arresting the people that are using acts of violence, committing political terrorism to get their point across, because their point is not cogent. It's nonsensical, and it's harmful to the American way of life. We have to get a real justice system that'll go after, because it's usually 95% of the problems being caused by 5% of the people. Go after the repeat offenders. You're going to see a lot of these problems dry up. And Elon going after U.S. aid and all these NGOs that were taking money out of your pocket to fund these crazy groups that are pushing domestic terrorism. That's a way to go after them too.
Tesla's a great example. 2 years ago, Stephen Colbert bragged on his show he owns a Tesla. Today, he's making jokes about how it's funny that people are firebombing them. Well, that don't make sense. You've got innocent people.
Yeah, but again, you could play this game both ways. You could say all these people used to say Trump is a loose cannon and is a crazy and whatever. Now they're all in his White House.
Some of them, but I always point to tendencies. There is a cult on the right that Trump can do no wrong, and I've criticized these people very heavily. They attacked Joe Rogan, and I'm like, are you guys nuts? Joe Rogan's a moderate who speaks to many different people of all persuasions. Let him cook, bro. And they attacked me for it. I said, I don't give a shit. I was like, you guys are nuts. While vocal, they don't dictate. They don't control.
It's true. It's true.
On the left, you better adhere or else. Let's just try and be as...
It's a constantly moving Overton window. Think of the Overton window as the 10-yard marker in a game of football. It's a constantly shifting set of parameters. You can't even keep up. They say moving the goalposts. That's another football reference. Kick a field goal. Well, if you move the goalposts over here, well, okay, you're not going to. If they're moving, you don't know what to aim at, and that's it. It almost feels like that's part of their plan. It's not enough in George Orwell's 1984 that you say 1 + 1 = 5, 2 + 2 = 5. You have to believe it, and that's what it is. It's just you have to keep repeating all of these fallacies to prove that you're a good member of the cult.
Fair, I suppose, and say it's 2-to-1 cult on the left and 2-to-1 not cult on the right. This is why I refer to the left largely.
This JL Fricker says, as someone who was born into and survived a literal cult, he's absolutely right. I see all the signs. He's not lying. I recognize this behavior, and I recognize the mental manipulation tactics that they use. It started during COVID with the vaccines, and then they kept ramping it up. It's a cult now. It's very sad to see because I don't recognize my liberal friends anymore. They're under mass formation psychosis. Madness, people. Joey Manarino points this out when you see the Catholic Church pushing for unvetted mass colonization of the third world into sovereign nations. You have to wonder why, and who does this benefit? For what reason? Well, Joey Manarino here says, soon there will be more Congolese men in Europe than there are in the Congo. More Somalian men in Europe than Somalia. More Cameroonian men in Europe than in Cameroon. The entire male populations of these countries are moving into Europe and the United States, while the women and children stay. That is a conquest, not immigration. Agree or disagree? Actually, yeah, that's a great question to ask. Is that a conquest? That's conquest, not immigration. Do you agree or disagree? I would tend to agree because it seems obvious to me. All right. Moving on. New York Mayor Eric Adams expected to meet with President Trump per Fox News.
It was held in West Palm Beach. And the NCAA March inauguration, it was held in West.
All right, weird clip. FBI has opened a formal criminal probe into New York Attorney General Letitia James over alleged mortgage fraud. Isn't that the same thing she tried to attack President Trump for? My, how the turntables.
I don't give a goddamn how famous I am or whatever. It don't matter to me because I'm about dead anyway, so what I give
What? So, real Donald Trump has replaced U.S. Attorney pick DC Ed Martin with Judge Jeanine Pirro. So Ed Martin's out. He was blocked by Tom Tillis. So now Judge Jeanine, President Trump loves his TV personalities. And by the way, being on TV means, I don't know, I think it's not a qualification per se, but, not everybody gets on TV, so they're doing something right. He's very familiar with their brains. He watches this TV all the time, so he knows what they're talking about. So now Judge Jeanine is the pick for the DC attorney position. I don't know what comes next. Do they have to vote on that again, or what? Is it 120 days, or I have questions. Donald Trump says, I am pleased to announce that Judge Jeanine Pirro will be appointed interim United States Attorney for the District of Columbia. Jeanine was an assistant district attorney for Westchester County, New York, and went on to serve as county judge and district attorney, where she was the first woman ever to be elected to those positions. During her time in office, Jeanine was a powerful crusader for victims of crime. Her establishment of the Domestic Violence Bureau in her prosecutor's office was the first in the nation. She excelled in all ways. In addition to her legal career, Jeanine previously hosted her own Fox News show, Justice with Judge Jeanine, and for 10 years, and is currently co-host of The Five, one of the highest rated shows on TV. Jeanine is incredibly well qualified for the position and is considered one of the top district attorneys in the history of the state of New York. She's in a class by herself. Congratulations. I can't play the music. She says, am I in a simulation right now? This is Mario Land? I don't know. Why is that a part of this? FBI Director Kash Patel promised that the Epstein files would be released in the near future. In the near future. Okay. Here is Putin and dozens of heads of state taking their seats as Victory Day celebration starts in 3, 2. Russian presidential aide Yuri Ushakov said that President Putin and President Trump exchanged congratulations on Victory Day through their aides. This is Ukraine. A video is going viral of Kyiv police arresting a woman who played the Victory Day song performed by Lev Leshchenko.
Это не русская музыка. На каком основании я должна быть?